Hello everybody, Tohami Pro here. Today is going to be the first episode of Skyrim lore. So I'm going to be talking about the Imperial Legion and the Stormcloak Rebellion, how it has to do with Skyrim the game and the history of the two, and which one you should join, or things to consider when joining. Now, I'm going to say that I am a Legionnaire. I like the Legion a lot. I usually, when I play Skyrim, I'm usually with the Legion, but in the first part of the video, I'm just going to be normal and giving, facts that are not opinionated. Later, I'll go all patriotic. But anyway, so let's start with the Stormcloaks. The Stormcloaks are led by Ulfric Stormcloak, making the name Stormcloak, and most of the Stormcloaks in the Stormcloak Rebellion are Nords, because what happened is the Imperial Legion, Imperial Empire, basically, they like to take over places, and the Dark Elves, the Thalmor, they made up these laws. Those laws were things like banishing the worship of Tiber Septim, which Nords like to do, and also banishing anti-Thalmor stuff, and Thalmor can patrol and use force throughout the Empire. And so they have all of these rights, etc., etc. And the Legion is friends with the elves, not elves, Dark Elves, Thalmor, whatever. And so regardless if the Imperials like Dark Elves or not, they're in an alliance with them. Now, most of those laws are not good for the Nords, and Ulfric Stormcloak rose up and killed the High King of Skyrim, and by basically walking into his throne room in solitude and doing a dragon shout, which I will get into in another episode. But in case if you didn't know, Ulfric Stormcloak is not a dragonborn. He was trained by the Greybeards, but I'll get into that in a later episode. This is about the actual Civil War. He Fussrodod, the High King, and killed him. Yeah, the High King is either really weak or Ulfric Stormcloak is a badass. I don't know. So he's dead, and that sparks up a war, because that starts the Stormcloak Rebellion, causing a whole bunch of violence throughout Skyrim, and no one really likes Skyrim now. Well, Skyrim isn't like Imperial City or anything, in Oblivion. But anyway, so that's like the background knowledge. Things to consider when choosing the Imperial Legion or the Stormcloaks. My character was Imperial, so it would be accurate that my character joined the Legion. However, you don't have to be a Nord to be in the Stormcloaks, and you don't have to be an Imperial to be in the Imperial Legion. And there's also characters that might just happen to be like, sure, I'm a Nord, but I side with the Empire, and they have their own weird reasons, but yeah. Anyway. Now, so with the Stormcloaks, I heard some comparisons to real life. I heard some people say that the Stormcloaks are like the Nazis and the Imperials are like the ancient Romans, the Roman Empire. I don't know if you can really say that. The Stormcloaks are racist, and they're against Dark Elves, Imperials, and you can notice that throughout the game that they're not as accepting as some other clans. Well, not clans, but groups. But in a way, it's almost Ulfric Stormcloak himself, regardless if you like the idea of the Stormcloak Rebellion or not. Ulfric Stormcloak is using it as an excuse to get into power and control Skyrim, which maybe is better if there's a Nord controlling it. That's your decision to make, because that's the great thing about Skyrim. They're not accepting, and now the Imperial Legion, they already control Cyrodiil and several other places in Tamriel. I don't know as much about them yet, but you can read it on the wiki, all that stuff. But they might be better rulers because they already govern a whole bunch of places. At the same time, they're denying rights of Nords, such as, no, you cannot worship Talos, because we're kissing the Dark Elves' ass. They sort of do that in the game. Not literally, I promise. So they might seem to be better rulers, and I like how Bethesda made it that it's not one, here's the good guys, here are the bad guys. If you join the Stormcloaks, you're bad. It's really up to you and your own political view of everything. So, yeah, I hope I gave you some information on the Civil War. Please comment in the description things you would like to know about in Skyrim, preferably stuff to do with lore, and it can be about the other Elder Scrolls games. But no, I'm not as knowledgeable as Skyrim was my first game, but I did play Oblivion and other games too. Comment, and in the description I'll have a link to the Elder Scrolls Wiki, which has a lot of information on pretty much everything Elder Scrolls. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and as always, peace.